Maybe 7, but everybody was happy.
Right.
The season starts.
Mm-hmm.
The team, the family.
Good.
Everybody's trying to be happy again.
Mhm.
Outside forces are knocking at the door.
Well, it is midnight after all.
Who did you
As we expected.
We had to expect that the status quo is always going to be challenged. And in this season, we know there's a new hotel that has been developed and that there are newcomers coming into town. And typical of Midnighters, there's a certain amount of suspicion, with regards to the newcomers. Now, as the season evolves, are they the problem? Or do they reveal that the problem's already at midnight? What can I tell you?
So do you like playing the character when you're happy? Do you like playing the character when you're mad and angry?
Yeah.
What drives you?
Well, he reacts to whatever's in front of him, right? So the biggest challenge he has is, frankly, he's a vampire. So
You can't get too happy.
you can't get too happy, and you can't lose control because you'll be eating people, and they're your friends. So he gets a little bit of energy, and he survives that way. So Lemuel is already challenged as it is, and he's very protective of his community because he's finally found not only his wife but his family and community. So his job is to swing between the loving husband and the guy who's willing to take care of any threat that comes into town.
So are there extra challenges for you as an actor in light of that? Because it's kind of an odd character to have to play. Some characters are very expressive, some characters are very silent.
Yeah, I think it's fantasy is interesting and challenging at the same time, and you have to play realistically something that is fantastical. And in this instance, he's a vampire, which by definition means he's fundamentally dead. And yet he has relationships and is attempting actually a marriage. So there are a few challenges to how much expression you can actually give, and how much story you can show, because half of the time he's trying to understand the emotions as they come to him. And this season's really interesting because the story takes him into some very challenging territories, which would have been easier if he was human, but he hasn't been human in so long that he's lost touch with all of those things, and yet he has to find it in order to connect to his wife.
Are the stakes higher this year because we've seen them come together, they've gone through this journey together, they trust each other, they're a family? Are the stakes higher because there's even more to lose?
Well, it's interesting because, when the world is about to implode, I don't know if the stakes can get higher than the world, but having survived it and having grown closer, what I think happens this season is a different kind of a threat because now they get into each other's relationships a lot further, and the audience gets to travel along with the journey. So you start to learn a lot more about Olivia, a lot more about Fiji, and a lot more about Joe. So this is actually more of a reveal.
Okay, let me check.
And in that, I think the Midnight is a lot more vulnerable this year.
And the watchers and the fans are really passionate about the show. So how does their passion kind of play into the way you guys portray your characters and the way you guys take the time to develop them?
Well, firstly, one of the greatest joys is, when you do your job and people respond to it. So the positive response obviously is encouraging because it feels like we must have done something right. So, you're more willing to take risks and to be more expressive because you want to show more. So hopefully we've been able to do that this season, and I think the audience will have a lot more to know about their the characters they've grown to love.
Now, obviously, you don't get everything revealed to you right at the start. So were there reveals throughout the season this year that really surprised you in light of what was last year? That you don't have to say exactly, but you can speak around them.
I will absolutely tell you that every time an episode was revealed, we would all go, "Oh my goodness!" So, trust me, you will have the same reaction.
And I know we were told there with the big climax this season, the big double episodes.
Yeah. So, every episode there is going to be revealed to you something that will absolutely startle you, and it'll keep going right up into the end.
So you think that process will get us another season?
I think your love for the show will get us another season.
Peter, before you leave me, let me get one more nice, wonderful shot of you.